Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're diving into source material that, well, it looks almost like a diary.
Yeah, it's this detailed chat between two professionals, basically laying out their daily routines, mostly working from home.
Exactly. But our mission, as always, goes deeper than just, tracking their schedule. We want to pull back the curtain, really extract the blueprint underneath.
Find out how these pretty high-functioning remote workers actually engineer their days, how they manage energy.
And this is the really interesting part for me, how they turn the simple act of talking about their day into a practical tool for learning new skills.
It's almost like a blueprint for a smoother life, maybe. Not about finding more hours, but making the hours you have work better.
Right. And for you listening for the learner, this whole discussion is kind of a custom manual.
It really shows how you can structure your workday to cut down on decision fatigue, and how you can weave learning into everyday habits, like making coffee, planning dinner.
Turning those into chances to gain knowledge. We're going beyond just what they do.
And drilling down into the why, the psychology behind the choices.
I like that. Frictionless life.
Yeah.
And if the whole day is this high-performance machine, then the morning routine has got to be the ignition sequence, right? Carefully engineered.
Gotta be smooth, moving
Yeah.
from sleep to productive work with minimal drag.
Okay, so let's jump straight into part one. The morning blueprint engineering, that smooth start.
Well, the first thing that jumps out is they both need a positive start physically.
Okay.
So the very first shared habit, even before getting out of bed, is waking up and stretching a little. They actually say it feels good.
Simple, but it sets a tone, doesn't it? A low-effort, positive physical state before your brain even has to tackle anything.
It's like the minimum effective dose of movement, just signaling, okay, day's starting.
And then,
Yeah.
the big one, the phone. The point where, let's be honest, a lot of us derail our day before it's even begun.
Mm-hmm. Richard admits he sometimes checks his phone right away. But, and this is key, he says he actively tries not to.
That conscious effort.
Mhm.
Why is delaying screen time so vital right then?
It's all about protecting your headspace, isn't it? Your mental resources.
How so?
Well, if you grab your phone immediately, you're basically letting everyone else's agenda flood in emails, notifications, news.
You're reacting right from the start.
Exactly. You get that blast of info, maybe some anxiety, maybe a dopamine hit, and your brain starts context switching before it's fully online.
So delaying it, even just 15 minutes.
Preserves that early mental space, lets you use that first bit of cognitive energy to set your priorities. It's intentional self-regulation, really.
Makes total sense. It's like setting a boundary, just framed as a habit.
Okay,
So they get up, standard stuff follows bathroom, wash the face.
but the order shows this interesting little contrast, the coffee versus hygiene debate.
Ah, yes. Tell me about that.
Well, Anna makes a beeline for the kitchen. Coffee first. She mentions loving the smell, that whole sensory experience. That's her Kickstarter. Then she goes back to brush her teeth.
Okay, sensory reward driven. And Richard.
He's more traditional. Hygiene first, then coffee, presumably later. It just shows different motivators, right?
Totally. For Anna, it's the ritual, the smell. For Richard, maybe it's ticking the cleanliness box first. Both get the job done, just different reward paths.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting, especially working from home, is how they make sure they're properly awake before work starts.
Right, avoiding that pajama-clad drift into the workday.
Richard specifically mentions a quick shower. That's his method to wake up properly before getting dressed. Often in comfy clothes, but definitely dressed.
It's a clear transition marker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Using that physical stimulus, the water, the temperature change.
It's a classic habit anchor. It's not just about being clean, it's flicking the switch in the brain to work mode, essential when your bedroom might be 10 steps from your office.
Otherwise, yeah, the lines blur way too easily. You risk just sort of drifting.
Exactly. So the morning's built layer by layer with these intentional activations. Which brings us to breakfast.
Kept quick, looks like. Fuel-focused. Toast, yogurt, eggs, cereal. Almost always at home.
Efficient fuel, yeah. But here's a little detail that elevates it from just efficient to strategic.
Right.
It's about integrating information gathering. Anna reads the news on her tablet for a few minutes after breakfast, specifically notes she does it to know what's happening in the world.
Turning refueling time into, intellectual uptime. Why after breakfast, though? Why not during?
Good question. Probably focus. Trying to eat and properly absorb news,
Yeah,
you end up doing both badly, right? Fragmented attention.
makes sense.
So by waiting until after, she separates the physical task eating from the cognitive one reading. She can dedicate that focused attention for a few minutes.
She's intentionally scanning, not just scrolling, getting a baseline understanding of the world before diving into her own projects.
Which, for someone creating content, is probably pretty valuable context. It's deliberate engagement before the deep dive into her work.
Okay, so the final piece of this smooth start, the transition to the actual workday. Shared step, obviously, is checking emails.
Naturally. But again, the sequence is where you see the difference between being proactive and reactive.
Anna does something first.
Yes. She checks her schedule and plans what needs doing before she opens the inbox.
Oh, that's huge.
It's arguably the most critical bit of the whole morning because email is fundamentally other people's priorities, right? It's reactive by nature.
So by planning first, she's setting her own agenda for the day,
Yeah,
deciding what big rocks need moving.
exactly. She minimizes the damage the urgent but not important stuff in the inbox can do to her focus. She dictates the flow, not the emails.
So what does this all mean then, tying it all together?
The big takeaway from the source material is that these routines, all these little steps, make the day start smoothly. And that smooth start isn't an accident.
It's engineered. By delaying the phone, using sensory cues like coffee or a shower, and crucially, planning before reacting to emails.
It's about minimizing decision fatigue in that first hour. If you have to consciously wrestle with phone now, coffee now, what do I work on every single morning?
You're burning valuable mental energy before you even start.
Right. Lock in the routine, automate those choices, and save your brain power for the actual work.
That momentum really carries things forward then into part two, the core workday. This is where the heavy lifting happens.
And for these two, the afternoon is flagged as the busiest time. Makes sense.
What kind of work are we talking?
It's a mix, pretty typical for, digital knowledge work, lots of online meetings, talking to different people.
External stuff.
Yeah, but also focused, deep work, writing scripts like for this show, perhaps intensive reading, research, prepping lesson materials, project tasks.
And the unavoidable admin, answering emails. It's a juggle.
It requires serious mental stamina to switch between all those modes.
And key to keeping that stamina up seems to be their lunch strategy, usually aiming for around 1 p.m.
And again, the theme is simplicity and health. Usually simple stuff made at home. Sandwich, salad, leftovers.
Or maybe cooking something quick and healthy, chicken and veg, soup.
The intention's clear. Get fuel in efficiently without adding complexity or causing that post-lunch energy crash.
All right, avoid the big heavy meal that just makes you want to nap. Choose foods for stable energy.
But importantly, they also acknowledge reality. The source mentions if they're really busy, one of them might just grab a quick snack instead of cooking.
Pragmatism.
Oh.
What does that signal about their priorities when things get hectic?
It shows they prioritize workflow, the continuity of deep work over the meal ritual when necessary. But the default is structured and healthy.
So they know skipping lunch entirely is bad.
Risks a crash later, yeah. But they also know stopping a really intense flow for 45 minutes of cooking and eating might actually cost them more time and lost focus afterwards.
It's a trade-off. Aim for the proper meal, but have a low-friction backup plan, the snack, ready to go.
Smart. Now here's where it gets really interesting for me. The non-negotiable break.
The linchpin, you think?
Absolutely. For sustained productivity, yes. Both stress, they take a short break, 15-20 minutes, but what they do is tailored very precisely to their needs at that moment.
Okay, this is key. Tell me more.
This customized break idea is maybe the most actionable insight here. We see two different needs being met.
Go on.
Richard takes a short walk outside or just chills on the sofa. He says it helps him clear my head. His focus is like cognitive offloading, mental processing.
Cognitive offloading, I like that term. How does walking or just relaxing help with that specific kind of mental fatigue?
Well, think about his work planning, writing, projects. That's heavy executive function stuff, right? Uses up a ton of working memory.
Brain gets full?
Brain gets full, gets stressed. Walking outside or even just lying down passively lets the prefrontal cortex take a breather from the task list. It's that incubation period psychologists talk about.
Clearing the mental RAM.
Exactly. And the movement helps too, physically. Breaks up the sitting.
Okay, so that's Richard mental clearing. What about Anna?
Anna's break involves reading a book, a physical book, or listening to music. And she emphasizes needing to rest your eyes from the computer screen.
Ah, so hers is more physiological. focused on eye strain.
Precisely. Her work seems more visually demanding lessons, reading articles, files, emails. That's a lot of screen time, a lot of strain on the eyes.
So her break is an intervention for that strain, reading a book or listening to music.
Gives her eyes a break from the backlit screen, the focusing demands. Her goal isn't primarily cognitive offloading, though that might happen too, but physiological maintenance. Releasing that eye strain so she can keep going in the afternoon.
Wow. So analyzing why they choose that specific break activity, mental clearing versus eye rest, shows incredible self-awareness.
It's not wasted time at all. It's targeted therapeutic maintenance for the brain or body, designed to counter the exact stress of the work they were just doing.
Ensuring they can get back to peak performance afterwards.
And that self-knowledge, that's what you, listening, need to develop. If your job is heavy thinking, maybe your break needs movement and zoning out.
If it's visually intense or lots of calls, maybe it needs auditory focus elsewhere or just quiet.
Spot on. Okay, so after that strategic pause, they're back for the late afternoon wrap-up.
The goal shifts now, right? From creating to closing.
Yeah, finishing tasks from the morning, maybe some creative research for new ideas for their channel it mentions, and then the admin closure, last emails, organizing files.
Everything's squared away.
And critically, wrapping up around 5 or 6 p.m., committing to a standard workday finish line, even working remotely.
That boundary seems vital for avoiding burnout. Protecting the evening.
Absolutely. Ensuring the workday has a definite end so it doesn't just bleed into personal time.
Which leads us perfectly into part 3, the evening transition. This is all about that intentional shift, relaxing, and maybe some personal growth too.
And creating separation, the very first step they mention is purely psychological, but really effective.
What is it?
Changing clothes, getting into something more comfortable. It's a simple ritual, but it physically signals the end of the workday, a tangible anchor separating work you from home you.
I can see that. Then back to the kitchen.
Yep. Both seem to enjoy cooking dinner, often a proper meal. One specifically mentions liking trying new recipes.
So cooking isn't just a chore. It's almost like a constructive hobby, a creative outlet after a day of structured thinking.
Engages a different part of the brain, for sure. Then the evenings branch out into this kind of relaxation menu.
Okay, what's on the menu?
Some passive stuff, sure, TV, movies, other podcasts, games on the computer or phone. Standard unwinding.
We all do that.
But the real nuggets are in the intentional, often unplugged activities.
Like what?
One host plays the guitar, creative relaxation, and talks on the phone with family or friends. That's active social connection.
Big contrast to the screen-based work all day, replenishing different reserves, creative, social, not just consuming.
Exactly. And the other host leans into wellness and self-improvement. A walk if the weather's good, get some fresh air.
Nice.
And significantly, practices Spanish. Notes it's fun to learn a new language even in the evening.
Okay, framing language learning as fun, as leisure, not another demanding task. That's clever.
It's micro-learning woven into downtime. Instead of blocking out a stressful study hour, it becomes an enjoyable part of the evening routine, much more sustainable.
Low pressure. Makes sense. Your brain doesn't fight it so much if it feels like a hobby.
Precisely. Easier retention, higher motivation. It's a great model for lifelong learning, actually.
So the evening winds down. Getting ready for bed around 9 or 10 p.m. Standard pre-sleep rituals, teeth, face, pajamas.
But again, little customizations show they're serious about sleep quality.
Sleep enhancers, you called them.
Yeah, two distinct ones. Richard takes a warm shower before bed, says it helps him relax and sleep better.
Warm. Doesn't that wake you up?
Counterintuitive, right? But the theory is the cooling down afterwards triggers the drop in core body temperature that signals sleep to the brain, using temperature regulation deliberately.
Huh. Okay. And Anna.
She reads for a bit in bed. More of a cognitive decompression. Shifting the brain from problem solving to a low-stakes narrative, like a gentle mental off-ramp.
Makes sense. Winding down the thoughts.
And then tying the whole daily cycle together, one last bit of pre-sleep productivity. Remember the planning advantage from the morning.
Yeah.
One of them plans tomorrow quickly in their head before sleeping.
Ooh, risky. Wouldn't that just start your mind racing?
You'd think so, but the key is quickly. It's not a deep planning session, more like a quick review. It works for two reasons.
Okay.
One, it clears any lingering must-remember tasks from your mental inbox, stops that late-night worrying. Two, it primes the pump for the morning. When they wake up and check the schedule, it's already sort of preloaded.
Ah, reinforcing that smooth transition again. Clearing the mental slate before sleep.
Exactly. And the overall goal for both, clear and shared, aiming for 10 or 11 p.m. bedtime, getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep. They explicitly link it to good health.
The whole day, from stretch to lights out, seems built around protecting and optimizing sleep.
They get it. The productivity of the day depends entirely on the wind down and the rest. Everything else is downstream from good sleep hygiene.
Okay, this brings us to part 4, the ultimate payoff for you, the learner. Because this whole conversation about routines, it's actually a brilliant step-by-step lesson plan for learning anything, especially language.
Absolutely. We need to distill that structured advice so you can apply it immediately.
So the foundational idea.
The amazing power of just everyday talk. The source hammers this. Talking about your day, your habits, is a fantastic way to practice because it's practical, it's relevant, you always have something to say.
Your life is the content. If you're learning French, your routine is your French textbook, chapter 1.
Exactly. And it's so accessible. They immediately give you the building blocks, grammar-wise. Simple present tense verbs. I wake up, I eat, I work.
The basic scaffold. Easy to repeat, easy to master.
But just listing verbs is boring, right? So sequencing, using those ordering words. First, then, after that, finally.
Ah, the glue. Gives it structure, flow. First I wake up, then I stretch. After that, I make coffee.
It's not just better language, it forces you to organize your thoughts logically, builds basic storytelling skills right away.
Okay, structure sorted. What about actually remembering the words?
Vocabulary and recall. The use it or lose it principle in action. The advice is crystal clear. Learn a new word, say stretch, or clear my head from our chat earlier.
Use it immediately.
Yes. Try to weave it into describing your own morning that day. The more you anchor new words to your actual life, the stickier they become.
Turning abstract vocab into personal experience. So if you just learned stamina, you could say, I took a short walk to build my stamina.
Perfect. Or, I took a shower to avoid morning lethargy, linking the new word directly to your routine.
Makes it much more memorable than a flashcard.
Way more. And they also suggest adding simple feeling words. I feel tired. I feel happy.
Because real conversation isn't just facts, it's feelings too. Adds that human touch.
Essential. Now, about how to practice. The most encouraging bit. Accepting imperfection.
Just do it, don't worry about mistakes.
That's the message. The practice itself is the most important thing. Get over the fear.
How do they suggest practicing?
Various ways, all easy. Talk to yourself in your head or out loud on your walk. Talk to a friend. Or, and they call this a fantastic idea, write it down in a small notebook.
Writing helps reinforce it, right? Visual, kinesthetic.
Definitely aids memory. It's where you can start actively applying this routine as textbook idea.
Okay, so you got the basics down. Describing your morning in simple present. How do you add complexity? Avoid just saying the same thing every day.
Smart tactic they highlight. Talk about what you didn't do.
Oh, interesting, like.
I didn't watch TV today, or I didn't cook, I had leftovers. This naturally pushes you into using negation, maybe past tense, adds more variety to your sentences.
Prevents it getting stale. And it forces you to use slightly more complex grammar without needing a formal lesson.
Exactly. If you want to practice negation, just describe the gaps in your day. Usually I drink tea, but today I didn't drink tea, I drank coffee.
Very practical. And the final piece of advice.
The step-by-step approach. Don't try to describe your entire 24 hours perfectly on day one. Start small.
Master the morning routine first. Or just breakfast.
Something like that. Nail a small segment, build confidence, then add the next bit. It stops you getting overwhelmed.
Information overload is real when learning. So master the chunks, then link them. Iterative learning.
That's the master strategy. Keep it manageable.
So what we've really unpacked here is twofold, isn't it? First, this practical blueprint for a successful professional day built on these intentional habits.
From delaying the phone check to picking the right kind of break.
And second, this really clear method for turning those habits into learning tools. Focusing on structure, sequence, immediate use, the learner gets a direct benefit from the professional structure.
Yeah, the source shows so clearly that these simple daily things, stretching, coffee, what you eat, they aren't just filler. They're planned components in a machine designed for performance and well-being.
So if these busy pros plan their breaks down to the minute for cognitive rest, if they think about their meal choices, even the temperature of their shower for sleep.
The final thought for you listening is, what small intentional action could you add to your own routine starting tomorrow? Something to boost your energy or maybe push your learning journey forward just that little bit.
The framework's right here. We've broken it down. The next step, that practice, well, that's up to you. Keep practicing, keep analyzing, keep optimizing. We'll see you on the next deep dive.